The leg kick is one of the most useful weapons that fighters have in any MMA fight. The legs contain some of the strongest muscles in the body, and this, combined with the hardness of the shin bones, can make up for some powerful shots. That being said, here are some of the most terrifying UFC fights finished with vicious head kicks. Number 1. Edson Barbosa vs. Terry Edom, UFC 142. Let's put it this way. Edson Barbosa is a terrifying fighter that is not exactly known for his grappling skills. If we were to paraphrase this, we would say that his leg kicks are some of the most vicious murder weapons we've seen, and none other is more aware of this than Terry Edom, who learned about Barbosa's kicks the hard way at UFC 142. What Edson is especially known for is his incredible wheel kicks. Only Khabib managed to survive a flush wheel kick to the face by Edson. Terry Edom, not so much. Edson employed flawless technique and performed a spinning wheel kick that landed heel first right on Terry's jaw, knocking him out cold even as he was still standing. He fell to the ground like a piece of dead wood and was knocked out stiff. Edson continued by celebrating his victory as the referee struggled to bring back Terry Edom into full consciousness for quite some time.
Want to take a chance and risk getting knocked out!
Oh my goodness! Maybe the most spectacular knockout in UFC history.
There's that spinning wheel kick. Heel to the jaw, boom, just perfect wheel kick, heel, spectacular kick knockouts we've ever seen inside the octagon.
Number 2. Anderson Silva vs. Vitor Belfort, UFC 126. The front kick is another powerful weapon that's widely used in UFC fights. However, most fighters employ it in a way so as to strike the opponent in the solar plexus and disrupt their breathing. It's very rare that we can see a fighter employing the front kick to shatter the other fighter's face. And one of the most recognizable instances in which we've seen this in UFC history was at UFC 126 when the legendary Anderson Silva finished the fight against Vitor Belfort in this way. What was really surprising, and we believe poor Vitor would agree, is how fast and unexpected the front kick was. Anderson was just clowning with his arms down in front of his opponent. He looked downward so as to mislead Vitor and then threw a vicious front kick that landed directly on Vitor's jaw, which knocked him down. From then, it was easy for Anderson to finish the fight right there.
Second to none.
Front kick to the face! Wow!
Number 3. Vitor Belfort vs. Luke Rockhold, UFC on FX8. Not to put down Belfort's accomplishments by any means, he also has his own highlight spinning wheel kick finish against none other than Luke Rockhold. But this was back in the days where Vitor was allowed to go through testosterone replacement therapy and was known as one of the most terrifying forces of evil in the octagon, aka TRT Vitor. It seems that all that extra testosterone made Vitor that much hungrier for KO victories and that much more confident in attaining them. So, what he did was exactly as it sounds. He spun around and threw his heel kick into Rockhold's face, knocking him out in the process. Number 4. Ronda Rousey vs. Holm, UFC 193. Not to be outdone by men, the ladies also have strings of highlight wins of fights finished with leg kicks, and where better to look for an example of that than UFC 193 when Ronda Rousey faced Holm. Ronda was an undisputed champion up until that moment, and she was known for the ease of which she terrorized her opposition in the octagon. But Holm was having none of it. Ronda Rousey showed an incredible lack in striking skills, and Holly was the all-out better fighter standing up. She dismantled Ronda Rousey over the course of the first round, and in one fateful moment in the second round, Holly got Ronda hurt with shots to a point where Ronda was not able to see the next punches. At this point, Holly threw a perfect kickboxing kick right in Ronda's face, knocking her out cold and claiming the UFC's Bantamweight Championship belt. Number 5. Namajunas vs. Zhongwei, UFC 261. It's obvious by now to everyone that there's no way that women's strawweight contenders have the prerequisite knockout power to put their opponents away, right? Wrong. Namajunas proved quite the opposite when she faced a terrifying beast of an opponent in Zhongwei at UFC 261. Zhang was previously undefeated and was in some all-out wars prior to this fight, especially against former champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk. So it was obvious to everyone that Rose would have her work cut out for her if she was to triumph over Zhang. And when it appeared that the majority of fans underestimated Rose, she threw a powerful leg kick right in Zhang's face and knocked her out. Zhang later protested the stoppage, however, it was obvious that she wasn't all there after that kick in the face. So, Rose did prove that women's strawweights wield KO power as well. Number 6. Jon Jones vs. Daniel Cormier, UFC 214. One of the most heated MMA rivalries of all time, Jon Jones faced Daniel Cormier for the second time after a dominant win in their first bout for Jon. This time around, Daniel was much better prepared for his opponent, showing his new striking skills. But Jones was not out of the picture by any means. What he did was target Daniel's midsection and punch it throughout the entire fight, conditioning him to protect his ribcage area. And then, at one point, instead of going for the ribs, he went for the head. Poor Daniel put his hands out to protect his midsection, exposing his head even further, and the head kick landed flush, heavily discombobulating Daniel in the process. It was easy then for Jones to finish the fight with some devastating punches. Number 7. Rashad Evans vs. Sean Salmon, UFC Fight Night 8. Rashad Evans is one of the all-time greats in the world of MMA. He used to be a champion in the UFC's light heavyweight division. Prior to this fight, the fans thought of Rashad primarily as a wrestler. At UFC Fight Night 8, he dealt one of his most devastating roundhouse kicks flush in Sean Salmon's face, knocking him out cold immediately, much to the surprise and delight of the crowd. Salmon went down and stayed down for several minutes, and he had to be carried to the hospital immediately after the fight. Number 8. George St. Pierre vs. Matt Hughes 2, UFC 65. GSP is yet another MMA and UFC legend. He was the undisputed champion in the welterweight division for a long time, and after a hiatus, came back to strangle Michael Bisping and capture the middleweight belt. One of his most notable wins was against Matt Hughes in their second fight, when GSP used a switch kick to the head to knock Matt out and take the welterweight belt. Number 9. Anthony Pettis vs. Joe Lauzon, UFC 144. Anthony Pettis is one of the all-time greats when it comes to leg strikes. He has one of the best highlight reels when it comes to leg kicks and brutal head kick knockouts. This time around, it was Joe Lauzon's turn to get knocked out. Pettis threw a head kick that landed flush on Lauzon's head. Despite the fact that Joe is known as one of the most durable fighters in UFC's history, he couldn't take that shot and fell down to the ground. Anthony finished the fight with a few additional strikes for good measure. Number 10. Lyoto Machida vs. Randy Couture, UFC 129. Lyoto the Dragon Machida is known for his weird karate stance and his precision strikes. Videos have surfaced at the time of the fight of Lyoto being trained by a polarizing figure, Steven Seagal himself. In these videos, Steven teaches Lyoto a front kick variant that he then manages to perform against Randy in a perfect way, knocking him out cold and winning the fight, adding another KO head kick to his highlight reel. What are some of your favorite finishes? Let us know in the comment section below. And it would be pretty cool if you liked, subscribed, and hit that bell icon for up-to-the-minute stories on everything MMA. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay awesome!